Alright, I got this projector here. This is an NEC VT280X. This particular projector does not have any filtration at all. Normally we have a routine where we clean the filters on our projectors. Usually there's an alert that pops up on the screen, and one of the people in my department will go and clean the filter and reset the counter. This particular model does not have any filters at all. It does have a user replaceable lamp though, so this is not the worst of the bunch. But there is a model that does not have a user replaceable lamp either. This one's peculiar. This one caught fire. Yes, it caught fire. I got an alert saying that I needed to go check out a situation in a conference room that smelled like smoke. So I went into the room and they're all freaking out. They don't know where the smell's coming from. And it turned out this projector was on and running, and there was no smoke pouring out of it, but I'll just put it this way. It smelled like it was just a few minutes away from being a much more serious incident. So like I said, there's no way to clean these other than to disassemble the whole projector, because they neglected to install any filtration. Now, this thing has been up there for a couple of years, as you can see. We're going to start off, I'm going to plug it in and see if it still turns on. I think it still works. Let's see what we get. Pulse power. See if I can get an image out of it. It's got light. There's a lot of dust in the lens. I can see that pretty clearly. But by now there should be producing a visible image, but it's not producing much of anything. This is a DLP projector. I did hear the color wheel spin up, so that's working. But it's producing light, and I can already smell it. Yeah, there's something going on. Alright, let's scrap that idea. Start off by pulling the lamp out. Let's see what we got going on there. Oh boy. Well, the lamp seems to be the source of the odor, actually. It looks like some dust got in around the capsule, maybe. It's not burnt, though. Now, look inside. You can pretty much tell she's dirty. She's a dirty, dirty, dirty girl. Okay. Let's, dig a little deeper. Like I said, and I want to emphasize, we do have procedures in place for cleaning our projectors. But these, since they don't have a user replaceable filter, dust gets into places on this model that it wouldn't normally. I think I moved my camera. There we go. These tend to pack with dust. I've never had one have any issues like this, but this projector was made in July of 2012, so it would have been used for the 2012 year. So it's been in use ever since. Okay. Usually they have a screw on the bottom. I think this one, the top comes off. Okay. Yeah, I think the top pops off. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look inside. Alright. This thing is disgusting. Normally the filter would be somewhere on either this side or this side, and look at this thing, it's gross. This thing is awful. Absolutely awful. There's the color wheel assembly. Oh my god. You know, I'm looking at the cooling fans and the blowers, and they're just packed. They're absolutely packed. This thing did not have a chance. You know, it looks like it might just be a bad bulb, and we can just put a new bulb in it and maybe get another few years out of this thing, but I'm not going to do that. Not worth it. Now, you open up a projector that has filtration. It doesn't look anything like this. No, they don't look anything like this at all. Looks like I gotta go for... Oh, you know what? I have to take the the logic board bracket comes off. I haven't had to crack one of these apart in a while. Yeah, the whole thing comes up. Look at that. Look at that dust. Look at the bottom side of this board. I've never seen anything like this. Never. This thing is just absolutely jammed with dust. Absolutely packed. I don't even want to breathe because, oh man. Let's look inside the light, the light chamber. On this one, it looks like this metal shielding comes off. And it's glued on. I'm making an absolute mess out of my workbench for you guys. Things I do for my viewers. Oh my god. Oh, there's one down there. Oh, this is the power supply cover. I'm sorry. I forgot for a second. I'm working on a DLP. But here's the power supply. Let's take a look at that. You can see, it looks like some burn marks, but I don't think that's the case. But with lack of airflow, I mean, let's take a look here. This thing is disgusting. No filter. This is what you call a throwaway projector. Generally, a projector like this isn't even supposed to last the entire life of the lamp. It's just, here's your DLP chip over here behind this heatsink. And if I recall, these were remarkably affordable. It's a good way of saying they were dirt cheap when they were new. Because I remember I installed this one actually back in 2012 or so. I would have put this one in. But look at that. Look at that. See, there's your color wheel. Color wheel's covered in dust. Oh my god. This is just pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. See if anything got into the mirror, the hall of mirrors. And right under the DLP chip itself. So this projector was deliberately designed in a way that limits its lifespan. I mean, there's no way around that. And that's how they were able to justify the lower cost. Let's see what the Hall of Mirrors looks like. Got this little shield here. Let's get that out of the way. There we go. I'll take that off there. Now this comes off. Kind of jammed in there. Check this mirror out of the way. Oh my, look at that. That mirror right there. That's why we can't get an image out of it. It got really hot. Oh my God. It just, the dust burned onto it. Oh my Lord. Have you ever seen anything like this before? I'm glad we did this. Look at that. This thing's got cataracts. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my, I've never seen anything like that before. Look at that. The lens melted. Have you ever seen a lens melt? It's plastic. The lens melted, so that smoke is what got all over the mirrors. Oh my God. Have you ever seen anything like that before? So normally, on any normal projector, these lenses are made of ground glass. This one's glass, for example. This one's plastic. That, my friends, is what happened to this poor little guy. And there's your DLP chip back there. But look at all the dust in here too. Look at all that dust covering the lens. Some of that is actually smoke and other stuff. Oh my God. What a colossal piece of crap. I gotta show this to my coworkers. It's like a laser beam hit it. Oh my God. Let's get a closer shot of that fan. Now this is the fan that cools the lamp assembly. This is the fan that cools the power supply. It draws in air, I believe, from the fan. So the direction of travel here, but it draws air out the body. Or no, this could be the intake air. And then there's a duct that's supposed to draw air into the lamp assembly somehow. Not the lamp, the lens body. But you look at this blower right here. I mean, it is just totally blocked. Almost. Now it still spins freely. And this guy here still spins. But there's only 2 fans in this particular model. Most of them have at least 3. And I believe the blower actually sucks the air from the lens. Let's see how that lines up. So it looks like this blower is designed to draw air from this region, which pulls air from this direction. That cools off the DLP chip, but there is no direct cooling, obviously, for the lenses and the lens body. I don't think normally you would need that. So you look at, what were the engineers thinking? Now, this projector, as I mentioned earlier, the user who runs this one tends to leave it on almost all day long. And being a lens made of acrylic, it appears to me that this lens may have been degraded over time by UV exposure. And at some point, when it can no longer pass light, it starts to absorb heat. And at that point, the degradation begins to rapidly increase. So it absorbs more heat, which degrades it even further, until it can no longer pass light effectively. And then it just turns into a giant light-absorbing heat sink. Being made of acrylic, well, it melts. And that, my friends, is designed to fail. This is engineered to fail. If the DLP color wheel doesn't fail first, this will. This projector probably has about, gosh, I'm going to guess somewhere around 4,000 hours on it, maybe. I mean, it has to, right? Well, now that I know what to look for in this model projector, I'll know exactly what to, in other words, if I get a complaint of a poor light situation, it's not producing enough light and we have to keep shutting the windows to turn the damn thing on to use it, I'll know that this lens could be a culprit. It is clearly designed to fail. Thoughts? Suggestions? Now, how do you prevent a projector like this from catching fire or from turning into a smoke bomb? Well, that's a good question, because normally an IT department isn't equipped to pull projectors from the ceiling every year or so to disassemble them, to clean them. You just, a projector like this, you just look for the warning signs and you just replace it. You can't blow air into this thing without causing further disruption. You blow air into the body of the projector with it assembled, and you're going to start putting dust into places where it should never be. For example, inside the lens body. So, you know, it raises a couple of questions. I mean, just look at how dirty that lens is, and nobody ever tried to clean this. You know. So it just did that on its own. It's just a shitty projector, a shitty design, and don't buy them. The model was a VT280X, I think it was. I think that's what it was. Yeah, it's the VT280X. And it's a ticking time bomb of a projector. It really is. If it doesn't fail from the color wheel, it'll overheat itself because of all the dust buildup. Or the lens will melt. I mean, this is a projector you don't want in your institution. You want to, if you have these projectors, you should probably consider a replacement plan if you don't already have one. Fortunately, these projectors are up for replacement next year, so we just need to use up our supply of bulbs and just start replacing them. Could this have turned into a fire? I'm going to say no. This would not have caught fire. It wouldn't have supported a flame. What would have happened was it would have just smoked itself to death, set off a fire alarm, and create a lot of panic, which is basically where it was headed. That's what would have happened. It wouldn't have caught fire, I don't think. But it's funny how the thermal protection never kicked in on it. It was still running. It was still active. If there is any thermal protection, I don't know where that would be. I haven't really examined it too far, but it's just kind of one of those things when you do IT work. It just drives you nuts when the organization buys things that they shouldn't have bought in the first place without vetting what they're buying, only in the name of saving money. And then there's no way to maintain that item. There's no way to clean the filters to prevent this shit from happening in the first place. There's no way to clean it without disassembling it, really. It just drives you nuts. You know, you can't try to do what's right and you just... But I will say, of all the projector makes that we've purchased from over the years, we've purchased In Focus, Epson, Sharp, Mitsubishi, and these NECs. I find that overall the NECs are the least problematic. So because of that, I mean, I'm not gonna shun the entire brand for one shitty product, or two, as the case may be. But I'm talking about their entry-level projectors. They are just this shit, man, just really gets to me. But NEC does make a decent product overall. I find that the most problematic projectors that we've purchased have been the Epsons. I would say the Epsons, absolutely. Even though I love Epson projectors for they're just a very sleek, overall well-made projector, they do have a lot of issues. Either bulb explosions, or we end up having a lot of power supply issues with the Epsons. And we've had bulb issues. We've had this one problem with, I forget the model exactly, but a couple-year-old model, where as soon as you plug in an HDMI source, the screen turns purple. Anyway, but the NECs have been pretty rock solid. I mean, I still have NEC projectors running that are 12 years old on a daily basis. We just keep popping in new bulbs, and they keep coming back for more. We just pop in filters and bulbs, and they just never die. And then you've got these. This one's what, 6 years old. Yeah, and then that happens. Well, that's my rant for the day. Really?